Hey YouTube, it's ICU, and welcome to the 10th episode of Best Tech Info and Rumors. If you're unfamiliar with this series, it's just me talking about what has happened in the tech world recently that is important. So we're going to kick things off today by talking about the biggest piece of news, and that is Bungie. So as most of you already know, Bungie is the developer behind the multi-billion-dollar Halo franchise, which started out as an extremely popular Xbox game, which has branched out to create other Halo-oriented products. Well, after 10 years, Bungie and Microsoft decided to part ways, but that doesn't stop Microsoft. It's said that Microsoft has already started to ramp up production of a new Halo game without Bungie, so that seems pretty shocking to me, and also I'm sure to a lot of other people who have ever played any of the Halo games, and I'm sure as most of you know, Bungie does an absolutely amazing job, and it would be really hard to imagine someone building a comparable game that isn't Bungie. But it appears Bungie also has some big plans in store for gamers. And it looks like they're getting ready to build a new cross-platform game that is mostly geared towards iOS users, which include the iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. And the project they are said to be working on is called Crimson. And Touch Arcade discovered that Bungie Aerospace, which is a Delaware incorporated Bungie property, has filed a trademark for Crimson, and they describe it as a computer game software for use on mobile and cellular phones. In other news, the second generation Apple TV did get a 4.3 firmware update, and so did Pwnage Tool to actually give it an untethered jailbreak. Now, it's also been reported that next week Samsung will be demoing a new type of LCD display technology that will finally give tablets the same type of retina display that the iPhone 4 and iPod Touch 4th generation currently have. It's said that the 10.1-inch display has an insanely high resolution of 2560 by 1600, which is completely and totally unheard of, and that is double the pixel count on full HD 1080p. So I'm sure as most of you know, that's 1920 by 1080. Well, again, this is 2560 by 1600, and my monitor right now is 22 inches and it is 1920 by 1080, and again, this thing is only 10.1 inches, so that is insane, and that obviously has more pixels per square inch than, again, full 1080p HD displays, as well as the new 27-inch iMac display, which is absolutely unheard of, and I'm sure that will be amazing to see if that is in the third iPad. And a lot of people are actually predicting that, again, Apple will use Samsung as their LCD manufacturer for the third iPad. Now, a recently discovered patent suggests that Apple will incorporate a camera as well as screensavers in the 7th generation iPod Nano. Now, that isn't really that big of news, but I decided to cover it anyways because I'm sure most of you like hearing about the different rumors that relate to Apple products. So in previous episodes of Best Tech Info, I've talked about the iPhone 4S. Now, at first it was speculated to be for development use only, so developers could test their applications and prepare them for the iPhone 5, and the only difference between the iPhone 4S and the iPhone 4 was just the fact that it had an A5 processor. At least that's what people thought initially. Then people started to think that it was either A prototype, or B, that it was for sure the solid iPhone 5. Well, now it would seem that an analyst named Peter Misk, who is pretty experienced in the area, is suggesting that this will be Apple's 5th generation iPhone, so it will be dubbed the iPhone 4S, and as I've previously stated, it will feature an A5 processor according to him, which is the dual-core 1 GHz processor that was introduced in the iPad 2. And aside from that, it will probably get the typical updates that Apple performs to their iPhone lineup, which would just be an improved camera and more RAM for a faster device overall. And some people are even speculating that it will have a slightly different design. So I hope you guys liked today's episode of Best Tech Info and Rumors. If you guys want to read up on anything that I talked about in today's episode, you can get all the links down below in the more info. And if you did like today's episode, please remember to rate it up. And if you want to be updated every time I release a new episode of Best Tech Info and Rumors, or just a new video in general, be sure to hit that subscribe button that's right over there. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.